Well, we've come along to the Chief Minister's briefing, and this week, just one item on the agenda, but it's a fairly big one, Chief Minister, the Scope of Government report, and Tynwald to discuss it. Why are you doing this?
Well, I want to take the report to Tynwald on Tuesday to give the backbenchers in particular an opportunity for the first time in public to express their views on the various aspects of this report. The report itself is a very wide-ranging and some might say even ideologically driven report which would extend the boundaries of government policy way beyond what we've been used to date, insofar as whether privatisation is going to be acceptable, something we've not gone into in the Alabama before, whether corporatisation is a more appropriate way forward, or whether we should simply look at a more efficient, effective form of management of many of these government operations to improve their performance. The one fundamental in all this is that, in particular because of the financial problems facing government at the moment, but more so the need to improve the efficiency of government right across the piece, we have to recognise that the status quo is no longer acceptable. We can't continue to do what we're doing at the moment, and therefore this is a good starting point, I think, to stimulate a debate on that.
And you've made it perfectly clear. I mean, that sort of sentence there, that last one, you've gone over it and over it. I think we're all quite aware of it. But the fact of the matter is, what are you going to do? And do you have a preference yourself? I know here you're saying you're not going to go forward with it.
No, the idea at the moment is simply to present the report. Members of Tynwald have in fact had a private presentation of this. They've had the chance to question the authors of this report, so they are quite well versed in the background to it. I'm not presenting it with any recommendations from myself or from Council at the moment. It is simply to I try to identify the boundaries of acceptability that members see appropriate for the various options. That then will lead on to a public meeting which we'll have in Peel, where Coman will be meeting the public again, as we did 3 months ago, to discuss a wide range of issues, but the centrepiece will be a presentation on the scope of government. That will give us an early indication of what the public think, and then throughout the summer there will be a further public consultation which I hope will culminate in a further Tynwald debate in November or December at the end of the year, with firm recommendations one way or the other from Council. These are very radical, very wide-ranging proposals if they are accepted in the round. It is vitally important that we have a debate on this so that Council know as effectively as we possibly can what is acceptable and what isn't. Otherwise we could spend many months pursuing a particular line of action which ultimately will not gain any sort of political support at all. I don't want to waste people's time. I want to stay focused on what we need to do.
Some sceptics may say you know exactly what you're going to do, because already the education angle was dealt with, because you had to deal with it now rather than later. And some people say you're going through this, you're flying a kite, but basically you know exactly where you're going to go and where you're going to cut.
No, there won't be a big bang on this. It's not like introducing a restructuring of government, which in effect came into play virtually on one day. Whichever option is acceptable out of the recommendations, it will take many months to put in place. And many of the changes which are recommended, for example, will need primary legislation. So we're not just moving towards one big bang. That will mean, of course, that individual departments will be bringing forward changes, perhaps related to some of these recommendations in advance of the final debate. I've encouraged them to do that. I hope that will happen. But it needs to be looked at that this is a wide front that we're moving forward on. Different areas, different responsibilities, different operations will be adjusted at a different speed. So it's not all coming in one day.